Hey guys, Omac here, and I hope you're all doing well. Today, I've chosen to reboot one of my first what ifs that I make back when I was in that awkward starting out phase, and my editing was horrible.
Hey guys, Omac 446 Productions here, and today I'm going to be carrying on with What If Raditz 2 Go Home. This is part 3, so if you haven't seen the previous parts, the place will be linked down below.
The what if in question is, what if the Saiyans came to Earth early? But it won't be me talking over it, but instead, I have asked my good friend Sacred Saiyan to do it, and luckily, he agreed. Before I leave and let Sacred take over, I'm gonna change when the Saiyans come to Earth. In the old video, the Saiyans come to Earth when Goku was still with Grandpa Gohan, whereas in this reboot, they land on Earth when Goku's fighting King Piccolo. Now, that is plenty from me. Take it away, Sacred.
Yo guys, it is Sacred Saiyan here, welcoming you to Omac's video. So, as Omac has already told you, I'm going to be covering today's What If. And also, if this video reaches 300 likes, Omac will continue this series with another part. So, if you want a part 2, I highly suggest you like the video. Anyways, with all of that out of the way, let's begin. Raditz and Vegeta are talking about the possibility of there being another Saiyan throughout the universe. And that's when Raditz remembers he has a younger brother called Kakarot, and he was sent to a planet called Earth. Raditz asked Vegeta if they could go and collect him, but Vegeta simply laughed at how Raditz used the word we, and told him that he can go himself. That is until Nappa butts in and tells Raditz that he will go with him. Vegeta, feeling outnumbered, would grit his teeth, swallow his pride, and go with them to Earth. 6 months would pass, and the Saiyans arrive on planet Earth, in the middle of the fight between Goku and King Piccolo. The 3 Saiyans get out of their pods, and Raditz instantly recognizes Goku as Kakarot, due to having the same hair as their late father, Bardock, and having a tail of course. King Piccolo asks the Saiyans who they are, but he is met by a smug look from Vegeta, and then an arm in his gut. Before he died, he spat out an egg, and sent it miles away. Nappa was about to go and get the egg, but Vegeta ordered him to leave it alone. They are here for Kakarot, and that's it. Nappa picks up Goku, squeezes his tail, knocking him unconscious, and hands him over to Raditz, as if he's saying, "He's your problem, not mine." Vegeta tells Raditz to go off and locate Goku's pod, and send him back to the planet they were on. For the purpose of the story, as it isn't specified what planet that we see the Saiyans on, in the Broly movie is called, I'm going to refer to it as Planet Visha. Raditz would say goodbye to his Saiyan friends, and they would then depart from the planet. Raditz, as your average naive teenage Saiyan, would kill everyone there purely for a laugh. Raditz, with Goku on his back, would fly all around the planet searching for the pod, and when he finally finds it, he shoves Goku in the pod, sets the coordinates for Visha, and within seconds, Goku is gone. Raditz would then go back to his pod and blast off towards Visha. But little did Raditz know, Raditz's finger slipped a few times, and accidentally put in a few wrong numbers, and instead of going to Visha, Goku's ship is programmed to go to another planet, Planet Vompa. Around 6 months would pass, and Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz land on Visha. Raditz would of course be anxious from thinking about where his brother is, but he thinks to himself that Kakarot would be with them soon. That is until 1 week has passed, and Raditz is, like me the day before a maths exam, worrying his arse off. He asks Vegeta and Nappa if there are any ways they can track down his ship, and they say no, as they don't have the ship codes. Anyways, when Goku lands on Vompa, the impact of the crash would make Goku hit his head off the window of the ship. But when Paragus first saw Goku, he would instantly see his old friend Bardock. Let's take a small leap back in time, the planet Vegeta. Nothing would change in terms of ranks, but Bardock and Paragus would be old friends from school. When they were kids, they used to play little pranks on the other kids, and sometimes even the teachers, so yeah, Paragus and Bardock were good friends. Paragus was aware that Bardock had a child, but he never knew he had two. Bardock never mentioned Kakarot to Paragus, but in fact Raditz. But Paragus has no clue what Raditz looks like, so he would think that Goku is called Raditz. But when Goku eventually wakes up, as expected, he would be confused out of his mind. When Goku hit his head in his pod, it was in fact the same part of his head that he hit when he first arrived on Earth. Convenient, right? Goku would have no clue who these people are, but he would also have no recollection of his time on Earth, or even the name Goku. So when Paragus tells Goku about his family and heritage, and also that his name is apparently Raditz, Goku would go along with it. But I won't be calling Goku Raditz, because that would just be confusing. But I will be using Kakarot instead of Goku from now on. Meanwhile, on Visha, the other Saiyans, including Raditz, have pretty much given up on Kakarot, as there is no way of finding him. So they will just carry on with what they would do normally. That is, conquering and selling planets, so nothing interesting happens. Over the next 5 years, Broly and Kakarot have become so close that they are practically brothers. At first, obviously, Kakarot was an ant compared to Broly in terms of size and power, but after many, and I mean many, Zenkais through Broly beating up Kakarot, Kakarot would be just below Broly in strength. Kakarot and Broly, when they aren't sleeping, eating, or recovering, would always be going at it at their full strength, nothing held back. But one day, during a spar, Broly would lose control and let his ki explode from his body. But sadly, one of these large, fast, and angry ki blasts strikes Paragus in his back as he was running from Broly's blasts. Kakarot would see their father collapse onto the ground and would yell at Broly to stop, and they both go down to Paragus. The two brothers would fall onto their knees, blinded by their own tears. Before he died, Paragus would take one last look at the boys he had raised, and he would smile. Not only has he raised his own son to be strong, but also his best friend Bardock's son. Paragus sheds one final tear before he drew his final breath. And that was the end of Paragus, the father of Broly, and metaphorical father of Goku. Broly picked up Paragus, and Kakarot dug a grave for their father. Once the grave was dug, the brothers took a hold of their elderly Saiyan. Broly at arms and Kakarot at legs, and they placed him inside the grave before burying him. After the burial, Kakarot would go off to find some food. All of his sadness is making him hungry. As for Broly, he would lay down beside the pile of soil above his late father. I know this may sound a bit much, but Paragus has been by Broly's side all of his life. Broly looked up to his father, and now that he is gone, he doesn't know what to do. Around an hour later, Kakarot returns with some food for himself and Broly. The childlike Kakarot would see Broly asleep, and as a joke would throw some food at his brother. Broly would wake up startled and ready to fight, but when he comes to his senses and realizes that this is just his brother, he would smile, take the food, and they would have their meal. Anyways, let me give Omac his channel back.
And that, in my opinion, is a good place to end off for right now. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I had a great time going back over this scenario and also working with Sacred Satan. And as he said, if you want to see a part 2, get this video to 300 likes and I'll get to work. That's all from me for today. Thanks for watching as always. Bye for now. Cheers.